Okay, so we're going to talk about lines. To me, line is the most important element of art that there is, just because it is used in all of the other elements. If you are creating shapes, you're using lines connected together to make those shapes. If you're using value, you could be placing lines really close together to make something darker or spreading them out further apart to make it look lighter. If you're trying to create texture, you might be drawing those lines in a wood grain pattern. Whatever it is, lines are probably part of it. It always jumps on me. All right, so by definition, a line is an identifiable path created by a point moving in space. So if you take a pencil point, place it on the paper, drag it across, you've made a line. Whether that's a curvy, squiggly, zigzaggy line, you've made a line. Okay, so lines can also define the edge of a form. Like I was saying, you can outline a shape by creating 4 lines. You make a square or a parallelogram, or there's a lot of different things, but 4 lines at right angles would create a square. Okay, lines can also be directional in that they can be horizontal, vertical, diagonal, straight, or curved. They can also have different weights, meaning they can be thin or thick, which can highly impact your drawing. If you were drawing something nice like eyelashes and you decided to go really thick with it, it's going to look very cartoony. Whereas if you were going for realism, you might use a thinner, wispier line. Now, there's also the concept of line quality. Line quality just means what texture does that line have? Have you used them together to create a rough and sketchy line work, or have you left your pen on the paper the entire time, smoothly flowing, nice contoured lines like the shoe in the upper picture? Now, moving back to that idea of line and value, the closer together you place 2 lines, the darker that area will appear. So if you place lines right on top of each other, really, really close together, right here in this hatching pattern, you're going to get a dark value. Whereas when you move up to the light end of the value scale, you see that they are spaced further apart. Also, when you are drawing using the foreground background, meaning that you're showing space in your artwork, the lines that are closer to you are going to look more solid, darker, and thicker, and the further away that object is, the lines used to draw it are going to be sketchier, lighter, smudged even. All right, so an actual line versus an implied line. So an actual line means that you just draw this line, and there it is. Now, implied means that you have used other lines, objects, shapes to create the idea of a line, but it's not actually connected together to make a line. So this dotted line in the center here of this S would be an example, because it's not truly a line as far as it's not all connected like a line, but it's still a line in that it's implied that it is. Okay, now the way they have arranged these horizontal lines, has created this nice S curve. But again, it's not actually connected. It's not a solid actual line. It's more the implied line. And then this is just 2 shapes placed together that create a boundary to make a line. Okie dokie, so now we're going to move on to our actual project using line, but I wanted you to go through and cover the different types of lines and all the things that come along with making lines.